Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we come to you today, Lord, asking for your guidance and wisdom for this great town of Vienna and the council, Lord. Help them engage meaningful discussions on city business, and thank you for our police and fire departments who serve us and protect us each day. Thank you, Lord. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen. Mr. Azinger, please.
Everybody please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ron. I'd like to call to order this regular session of the Vienna City Council for September the 22nd, 2022. Let the record reflect that I've taken roll, that all members of council are present. Having a quorum, we will proceed. First up on our agenda this evening is our public forum. We have two people that have signed up this evening. We'll start the evening with Tammy Rhodes.
Hi, my name's Tammy Rhodes. I just have something short on 12th Street. The Bike and Hike of Parkersburg had made a suggestion that I thought I would bring here, considering it has to do with 12th Street. I don't know. This is what they did. And what they are, I don't know if everybody knows, and I'm not that familiar with them. They're a nonprofit, and what their purpose is to expand opportunities for biking and hiking and kayaking, and also to improve safety for pedestrians and bicyclists on the roadways. So what they felt was that it would be great to have a segment of a future Vienna riverfront trail at the 12th Street property. They have a trail starting at Point Park, and it's going north, and they hope to expand that. And what they would like to do eventually is go up behind the mall and then up through Vienna, and then at some point in the fast future to extend it even further. And what I was told, it would be a great opportunity too for people when it gets expanded, since we'll have the kayak launch there. People could bike from Point Park, come to Vienna, they could kayak, and then actually just turn around and bike back, and they would have a full day of activities. And when he figured this out, with Ann's Drive and Kelly Lane, it would be just a little over a half-a-mile segment for that Vienna Riverfront Trail. So this is what he drew. Here's Kelly Lane. They would need access just at this, that would be the southeast corner, behind where the old maintenance garage was, just into the property, and then down the property line, over in front of the riverbank, and then cut over to Ann Street. So if there was a walking trail or something around 12th Street, or even just some empty space, that would be plenty for them to be able to bike or hike on that. And it really would not be any expense to the city for that to happen. So I'd like for y'all to consider that. I'll see if I can get someone from their organization to come and maybe give you some more information on that if you'd like that. Okay, thank you.
Schultz, please.
I just wanted to make you all aware that the Civil Service Commission is going to be giving an entry-level test on November the 1st. The deadline for applications is October 23rd. They are now available online to download and at the police station. If you have any opportunity to spread the word that we're looking for more officers, please do. And I'll just add that this is the third entry-level test we're giving this year. And so far, we were lucky if we got one person through the whole process. So we have to keep doing this over and over to try to fill the vacancies that are coming up, as well as the ones we already have. Just wanted you all to be aware of that. Thanks.
Thank you. the minutes from the September the 8th, 2022 council meeting and the September the 15th, 2022 special council meeting have been printed, posted, and circulated. Are there any corrections to the minutes? With no objections, and the minutes will stand approved as posted. We have one item under unfinished business this evening. It is the ordinance on second reading, amending Article 713-01, 71302A, 18, and 71302G of the City of Vienna Economic Development Tax Credit, increasing the qualified business payroll requirement from $250,000 to $500,000. I'll entertain a motion for the approval on second reading of this ordinance.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the ordinance on second reading. Is there any further discussion?
I just have a quick comment. I totally am for all of this. I also would want to see the city look at possible ways for helping local smaller business owners, because I know that this is to attract bigger businesses, which I'm all for, but I don't know that we really have anything in place for local or small businesses. And if there's any way that somebody could look into that in the city, I think that would be awesome as well.
Okay. Any further discussion? And I'll call for the question. All those in favor of the ordinance on second reading, amending Article 71301, et cetera, of the City of Vienna Economic Development Tax Credit, please signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, motion carries unanimously. We move to new business. This evening, we have a very short presentation from Jack Mathers on the Founders Park on 28th Street. Is Jack here? Oh, thank you, Jack.
I just passed this around. It's basically the design of what we're looking at for 28th Street. Part of it I'd already put in the my budget back at last budget presentation, but with the talk that you had about down at the river and different projects that are coming down there, different plantings, different quiet areas being needed. I told you at that time we were looking at 28th Street as such an area, and that's it right there. Basically what it'll have is a walkway around it. There's a designed seating area out toward the front of the property that's stone bench area, stone seating, somewhat of an alcove type area. There are picnic tables and everything. Everything will be passive that's down there. There's going to be gardens, pollinator gardens and everything. So basically trying to take some of the areas that were down at the river that were in part of maybe a floodplain area or an area and put it back up here. That's the original piece of property when Joseph Spencer came to Vienna. We've been told, and Vienna history recognized this as the area where he first settled was 28th Street and River Road. So the project we're looking at, we're getting ready to kick it off. And I also think that we could receive some outside funding possibly for part of it. But long-term vision, we could see an area where it's got a beautiful overlook of the Ohio River and Spencer Landing. I can see where possibly there would be like those mounted binoculars that you can look through and everything. It'd be a neat area to be able to sit and watch barge traffic or watch boats going up and down the river. Just a great, peaceful, beautiful area. Very large trees on the property. It's a very nice lot. So I told you I'd bring that night. There's basically the plan for it right there. And that's all I've got.
Hey,
Questions for Jack?
I do have a question about it. So, I really like this piece of property because it is a beautiful lot, as you said. And I think that, I know there's been a lot of talk about making sure that we had something really passive where people could just enjoy nature. And just from that drawing, I think that's been accomplished. And, we don't have recreation there, et cetera. So it's real. But I did get a question from somebody, a constituent, that wanted to know, is this going to then be put into the park system? Is that what the intention is?
That's not up for me. This is just with tree and beautification, and I don't know if it goes to parks or where it goes.
Okay.
So we're just getting it done.
Okay, so we just have a question mark there, and we'll just have to.
Yeah, we're calling it. It's going to be basically, Founder Gardens. I don't know if you're going to call it Founder Park or Founder Gardens or whatever, but Founder would probably be one of the original wording for it, since that's where we began at. But yeah, I couldn't answer that.
Okay. Appreciate it, Jack. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. There is a correction on the agenda. Mr. Rohan Hamarani is here tonight, and he wrote me a letter a while back about a project that he has been working on, and I mistakenly put his project on this evening, but he is here to talk about another project that he's working on. So, Rohan, if you would, please.
Possible to connect the power cord to TVs and try to line it up when?
You should be able to. I'm not sure how to switch it. There's an HDMI cable right in front of me. But light cable's an HDMI cable.
Yeah, okay. Let's go higher.
Yeah, go ahead.
But
Let's try it.
my first question is, do you have a MacBook with you?
Yeah, I do.
The MacBook Air?
Yes.
It only has a USB-C.
Yes.
You do not have an
Just
adapter.
USB, it's not USB-C.
As USB or USB-C?
USB.
I think you're going to have to use the.
All right.
Even if you just props up the front, if you prop up the keyboard part so the back kind of lays flat up.
I'm going to need a hotspot my thing really fast because the Wi-Fi power cord.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to line it up under, but I'm going to make an attempt to try that.
That's good.
My bad, I can't get my hotspot to connect really fast. All right. Thanks for waiting. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get this into the recording. So I can just go ahead and speak the old-fashioned way, guys. All right. Good evening, and I would like to thank all of you for the opportunity to speak before you tonight. My name is Rohan Malik Hamarani, and I am a senior at Parkersburg High School. And I'm here to talk to you about an initiative I had started as a student council president of Jackson Middle School. So, when I was at Jackson, many of my peers and underclassmen had approached me to start a middle school soccer team and league. So I approached the school board, and we eventually came to head about funding. So I'm here to request the city council to help fund a middle school soccer team and league. The reasons I request soccer are recently I've been reapproached by parents of several new Jackson students. And that really shows me that there's a continued interest in the sport that has kept on going since when I was at the school. We have many other sports offered in our middle schools, such as wrestling, basketball, tennis, football, etc. But for the kids who want to play soccer, we do not have an option, which leaves them alienated. It would also hopefully improve the local high school teams since we get more experienced players, and maybe we could win a few more trophies, small plus. And many other counties in our area have middle school soccer teams, which leads me to a question of, why are our county students being deprived of this privilege? Soccer comes with many benefits. It is a great exercise for aerobics, endurance, and strength. and there's a positive correlation between academic performance and sports such as soccer. Soccer can also help reduce substance use at younger ages. There's a study by the NIH which shows that students who play sports like soccer have a lower rate of substance abuse. And if starting something as simple as soccer can help lower substance abuse rates, I think it's definitely worth it. If you provide students with resources and experiences they're enthusiastic about, I think we'll have students more interested in school. So the current obstacles we are encountering are uniforms, coaches, and referees. So when I went to the school board, we had already discussed solutions for the venue and transportation options, but funding was the big issue. The average cost per student is going to be around $80 for an entire set of gear, and many already have equipment. So I would like to have the city council, if willing, help pay for referees, coaches, and subsidies for any students for equipment who may not be able to afford it. The amount that I would be thinking would be probably the best range would be probably around $5,000 if possible. I hope you will assist us when we as students take the initiative to improve upon our existing system. The middle school students of our county really need your support and encouragement when they make a small, simple request to make healthy lifestyle choices. Thank you.
Any questions?
I have a question. Do you already have the people interested? You're already ready to go. All you're looking for is the funding to support that. I guess I'm going to follow up that with, have you considered talking to Vienna Recreation about this? They have already a really successful program that goes up. I can't remember how far up they go. Was it 12? Oh no, they go higher than that, I think. Yeah, I think they even have middle school teams with Vienna Rec. So it's already, that part of it is already kind of going. I didn't know if you're looking for something completely separate, and would it be like an unsanctioned thing where it's not, because I know like my son played middle school baseball. Well, there isn't a middle school baseball team, just like soccer. I mean, there's no soccer team, there's no baseball team for middle school. So it's kind of unsanctioned. It's middle school kids from the North End playing, they have to kind of organize themselves. So is that kind of what you're looking at doing?
What I was more looking of is an actual school team like we have for many other sports, which is within the county school system, which is what I had advocated for in 8th grade. So a sport where people can play for their school rather than an unincorporated private group, right? Because it's often much more accessible within a school system.
Okay. What has the response from the Board of Education been? You said you spoke with them also?
Yes. So it is mostly a funding issue. We're like, how will we get the money for this? Where will we put the money from? Like essentially funding.
Okay.
So have you had any other response from any of the other middle schools?
I personally, I'll be honest, I have not had exact responses of interest, but I'm pretty sure they'll be there because soccer is a currently growing sport. And I've had many parents at Jackson approach me saying like, oh, how did your project go back then? So that's why I'm here again to try and reapproach it.
The reason why I ask is because I had an opportunity back when my kids were both in school to coach a club sport. It wasn't a sanctioned sport, it was bowling. And, we had a very successful league, and we traveled all over the state of West Virginia to compete against other schools. And so just because it's not a sanctioned middle school activity, that really doesn't limit it. You can do things under the club sport banner and have a great time. I mean, I don't know, we had 50 or 60 kids on our team, and it was great. It's an opportunity for kids that don't fit into that team uniform team thing. But with a club sport, you're basically playing against your friends, and it worked out very well. In the end, it was very successful. We all fought for state championships and everything. So, good luck. I'd like an update. So if you get this thing put together, or you move farther down the line, please let us know.
I definitely will.
Okay.
I have a question too before you take off. So I appreciate you bringing this evening, because I think you've identified something that's really important. And I know Mrs. Elam can probably attest to this, that soccer is just so, it's fast growing. And as a matter of fact, we can't accommodate really all the kids who want to play soccer because we're limited in our soccer fields. So I think, back when I was playing sports in the 80s, we were playing baseball and softball and basketball. And so, but a lot of it has changed. So I know you presented the same thing to Parkersburg.
Yes.
What was their response?
I'm actually planning on going back there next Tuesday to see what their official response was. I had put in a request for them to email me, but I haven't gotten anything in that form yet.
So if Parkersburg was willing to fund, and Vienna was willing to fund, is that the barrier to moving forward at this point? It's just the funding?
I would say so, yes.
Okay, because $5,000 isn't, a tremendous amount of money at all in the scheme of things. So I don't know. I'm encouraged by it, and so, like the mayor said, I'd like to hear what becomes of it, because I'm very interested in this, because I do think you've identified something that is a need, in my opinion. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rohan. Our third item this evening is a resolution, resolution accepting the right-of-way agreements from the three water and sewer line that were left over for the 45th Place project. This resolution is accepting the right-of-way agreements, 3 water and sewer line right-of-ways for 45th Place, Vienna, West Virginia. Be it resolved by the City of Vienna that it hereby accepts without cost to the city 3 right-of-way agreements for the purposes of replacing, installing, and maintaining water and sewer lines over and across parcels of property located at 45th Place, Vienna, Wood County, belonging to Arthur and Karen Harris, Keith and Cindy Pomerinke, and Sarah Morgan, as set forth in the drafts of the deeds attached hereto for reference. Further, the mayor and city attorney are hereby authorized to take any steps as are reasonably necessary, including executing, Jiminy Christmas, necessary documents to accept and record these right-of-ways. I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the resolution accepting the 3 right-of-ways.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve these 3 right-of-ways. I just need to make one item clear on this. The right-of-way that we are receiving from Keith and Cindy Pomerinke and the one from Art and Karen Harris are not in 45th Place. They are the connecting lines that attach to 45th Place. Sarah Morgan is the only one that is physically located at 45th Place, but it is all the same water and sewer line. All right? So, any questions on that? All right, then I'll call for the questions. All those in favor of accepting or of approving the resolution accepting the right-of-way agreements, please signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, motion carries unanimously. Greg, that should be the last obstacle before we put 45th Place out for bid. Okay. All right. So we'll present that tomorrow to the utility board as having all secured all the right-of-ways now. All right. The next item on our agenda this evening is a bid approval for the Park SUV. Mr. Leach.
So bids for the purchase of an SUV for Parks Department on Friday, August 19, 2022 at 10 a.m. with following results: 18 Motors 2023 GMC Acadia $34,692, or Kia 2023 Kia Sportage $30,263.93. After bid proposal, the recommendation of council approved from the Budget and Finance Committee. The Parks Department SUV for the 2022-2023 budget year is a Warner Kia 2023 or Kia Sportage $30,263.93. Funding from this project is from 540-65-59 from the general fund.
I'll entertain a motion for the approval of accepting the low bid for the purchase of an SUV for the Parks Department.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. We accept the low bid from Warner Kia for a 2023 Kia Sportage in the amount of $30,263.93. Is there any further discussion?
That's good.
Yes, sir, Tom.
I don't know much about cars anymore, but is the GMC and the Kia they're sort of the same
Comparable size? Yes, sir.
shop for
Yes,
engine,
yes. That's the way it was spec'd out.
camshaft and all that.
And that's what Steve
Well,
said.
now that I can't tell you.
Both vehicles met the bid specification.
Okay.
Anything else? All right, then I'll call for the question. All those in favor of the low bid from Warner Kia, please signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, motion carries unanimously. Next item on our agenda this evening is a bid approval for the financing for the SUV for the parks. Councilman Leach.
Sealed bids for the financing of the 2023 Kia Sportage for Parks Department were opened on Monday, September 12, 2022 at 10 a.m. with the results. United Bank, 3 years, 3.90%. Total cost, $32,118.12. Country Roads Leasing, 3 years, 2.49%. Total, $31,792.04. West Banco, 3 year, 4.99%. For a total of $33,038 even. After careful review of the bid proposals, the recommendation of council approval for the Budget and Finance Committee, financing a 3/4 ton GMC Sierra
Yeah, you can go from the top.
for financing the 2023 Kia Sportage for the Parks Department. This Country Roads Leasing, 3 years, 2.495%. For a total of $31,792.04. Funding for this project, budget, City General Fund, 540-6559.
I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the financing from Country Roads at 3 years at 2.495%.
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the financing from Country Roads Leasing. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, then I'll call for the question. All those in favor of accepting the financing from Country Roads Leasing, please signify by raising your right hand. All right. All opposed, motion carries unanimously. Please make sure that's corrected in the minutes.
Yeah, I think I have the corrected version, actually.
Okay. Next item on our agenda this evening is a bid approval for the as-needed asphalt paving.
Sealed bids for as-needed asphalt paving for the 2022-2023 budget year were opened on September 1, 2022 at 9 a.m. with the following results. Brown asphalt, 3-inch mill and replace at $216 a ton, 4-inch edge mill at $187 a ton, sewer storm catch basin riser at $993 each, water valve riser at $175. Careful review of the bid proposals, the recommendation for council approval for the budget and finance committee for as-needed asphalt paving is brown asphalt. And the same amounts, 3-inch, 4-inch sewer storm catch and water valve risers. Funding for this project is $570-6558.
I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the bid for the as-needed asphalt paving in the amounts that Mr. Leach spoke about.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we accept the seal bid for the as-needed asphalt paving for the 2022-2023 budget year. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, then I'll call for the question. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed? Are you abstaining?
Yeah, I'm going to abstain from this vote.
Okay, so it's 601, but it passes anyway.
Okay.
So we move on.
Okay.
The agenda item number 7 is for the asphalt seal coating and road striping bid approval. Mr. Leach, you're the star.
Sealed bids for asphalt seal coating and road striping were opened on September 1, 2022 at 9:30 a.m. with the following results. Brown asphalt at $48,161.52. Careful review of the bid proposals and recommendation for council approval from the Budget and Finance Committee for asphalt seal coating and road striping is brown asphalt, $48,161.52. With funding for the project of the general fund at $570-65.
In your packet this evening, you should have received a copy of the striping that is to be in this. And Craig, I know that you'd like to add an addendum to this.
Oh, in the parks, yeah, what that is, say, I have what they're wanting to do, even here. After
after we accepted the bids, Steve decided there's two sections that he would like to also have sealed. One is the McDonough walking course, and then the roadway or the walking course from Jackson School to the Direct Road. So what I did is, since John Brown is on the bidder, contacted him, asked him for prices for both particular projects, and I think the one he wanted to put in is the addition of this one. It costs like 45.
It's right at 4,600.
4,600 and 4,559. So it actually make the total cost of the project $2,720.50.
The reason why that we've brought this up is after review by our city attorney, it is less than a 10% increase in the total bid. And so, Mr. Skogstad, if you'd care to address that.
Yeah, what my understanding was that we sent out a bid for, I think it was $48,000. And we were going to accept the bid for the ceiling. There was an awareness that, it was brought to my attention that we wanted to add a couple of changes to the bid. I think that generally the auditor and the rule of thumb in the years that I've been doing this is it's generally acceptable to have a change of work order or to make changes in any project as long as the total of those changes are less than 10% of the overall value of the project. So I don't think it's an issue to add $4,000 because that's, if I've got my numbers correct, that's less than obviously 4% of the change of the overall project. What we're trying to do is to avoid getting dinged by the auditor. So that's my explanation.
So the exact dollar amount is $4,559 for the McDonough Park portion of this. And it is budgeted in Steve's budget for the year, so there will be money already in the budget to take care of Steve's portion of this. So,
and my suggestion, I guess, if we're going to do it this way for the record, or just to preserve a record, is make a motion to amend. This was noticed as a $48,000 bid, roughly. Is that correct, as I recall?
yes.
Right.
Yes.
So the approximate number is $48,000. We've proposed a 10% or a $4,000 change. I propose just somebody making a motion to amend the $48,000 to $52,000. It's something that you could have done as a change of work order after the project would have been approved anyway, and at least this way council is aware of it ahead of time.
So move to amend the proposal for asphalt zone coating, road striping, currently at $48,161.52, an increase of $46.59 to encompass the ceiling at McDonough Park, and as amended,
Okay, I have it at 4559. Okay. So we'll vote on the amendment first.
Yeah, so he moved to amend it.
Yes,
Need a second on that?
we do.
Yes, I'll second.
Okay.
Oh, Tom seconded.
Tom did,
Sorry.
okay, so it's been moved and seconded that we amend the bid approval to include the McDonough walking path in the amount of $4,559.
I have a question.
We're not there yet. Okay. All right, so it'll be 48,181, 48,161.52 plus 45.59. It will make it $52,720.52 is what the total would be if the amendment is accepted. All right, Kim?
My question is, don't we need to move the first motion first, which we haven't done yet, before we can amend it?
Mr. Skogstad recommended we do it this way.
I think as long as we all understand what we're voting on,
Okay.
I don't think it's an issue to do it this way.
Okay.
All right? So we have an amendment on the floor to add the 4559 for the McDonough walking trail to this bid approval. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor of the amendment to the bid approval for the seal coating and road striping, please signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed? All right, now we move on to the main vote. I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the asphalt seal coating and road striping in the amount of $52,720.52.
So moved. I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the amended bid for the seal coating and road striping. Is there any further discussion?
Yeah, I have a couple questions. So that includes all of the kind of included documents so we're going to seal and repave all of 60th Street parking?
It's seal,
Part of that?
not repave.
Seal and stripe,
Yes,
and then we're going to reseal and restripe the areas that are marked in red on the map. Or is that just striping?
Just striping areas.
Okay, so it sounds like the majority of the money is going to be going towards resealing the parking lot, correct?
Majority of money is in line striping the areas.
Okay, is there any way that we could hear or like better understand the breakout of those costs?
When I wrote specs, it was a joint project for seal coating 60th Street. It's a parking lot, and line striping that, then line striping the project. It shows in red, and it's directly with the bus stops.
Okay.
so when you look at the drawing that Craig has presented with us, it's the stop lane and turn lanes at 9th Street, 12th Street, 28th Street, and up in Ashwood and Woodland Drive are the basic bulk of it. All right? And then, of course, the 60th Street parking lot. So that's what that is. All right?
Okay.
All right. Any further discussion?
I just kind of want to go with something that Chris said. So I was up at 60th Street, and, you know, I guess I'm having a hard time understanding why that needs to be sealed and restriped, because it looks fairly good to me, and I certainly don't have a trained eye, but I think that's why it was getting to the point of what was the cost of 60th Street. Do you have an idea of that at all?
I don't, but I mean, you can look at the cost of what he's saying to do the walking trail. $4,600. It's cheap. Say that parking lot is $4,600. It is not. When you seal coat a lot, that prolongs the life. Yeah, we can come back in 3 years and pave it. It has a lot of elimination. It has some cracks in it. They all know all asphalt gets cracks, gets water in it. It's going to deteriorate. So I'm trying to save the life of that asphalt on it, or we can not do it and I'll repave it.
No, that's fine. I would just want to see what we're doing here. I appreciate the explanation.
Project we did on.
Okay, thank you.
I can ask John tomorrow or tonight. I can call him and ask him what the cost would be. Give it to you tomorrow.
That'd be great. Thank you.
And I'll just add, you know, we have some businesses with paid parking lots, and we try to do them about every 5 years. And, you know, because it does, asphalt comes apart. If you keep it sealed, and the striping, of course, you have to have it sealed. But if you keep it sealed and maintained, you get a lot more life out of it. I mean, our parking lot at PSSI, we got there, and John did it, John Brown did it. It's been there 27 years. But it's because you do that regular maintenance, it'll hold up.
All right, is there any further discussion? And I'll call for the question. All those in favor of accepting the bid from Brown Asphalt as amended to $52,720.52, please signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. That moves us to our pool update.
Yes. So we had some progress happen this past week. CEC had their team come up and do the core borings. It began on Monday, September 19th. Got kind of a slow start because it rained that morning, but they were able to make, I think they got 5 done that evening, or that the rest of the day. They completed their work on Wednesday, September 21st. 11 total holes were dug, bored, whatever you, bored. They were bored. And CEC is going to test and analyze that. We'll receive their findings in about 2 weeks. So I'm hoping maybe the first week of October, we'll have some results from them on what is under all that concrete. I do not have the concepts yet from Omni and Martin Aquatic, but they did ask me to communicate that in their original proposal that they gave to us, it did say that the baby pool was going to be incorporated into a different phase, but they wanted me to clarify that as they have been working on their designs, that is happening now. Like it's going to be the baby, whatever it's going to be, whatever that baby structure is going to be, is going to happen when we open the pool. So that is happening. That they said, they know that they had said that it was going to happen in a different phase, but it is not. It is going to happen all at once, and we'll be ready to go when we open it up. So that is all I have for right now.
Questions? All right. That concludes our agenda for this evening. Are there any council comments? Mr. Azing, are you looking at me?
Kathy brought up about the test coming up for try to hire some new policemen. And I just wonder if there's anything that the council could do to enhance your chances to be successful.
Chief Pfeiffer?
Yeah, there is something we can do. I think that might help. And sometimes we do the budget finance.
He's got a very unique plan. Okay. All right. Any other council comments this evening?
Yeah, if I could just kind of jump in real quick and have a couple comments. We did meet with the state on the kayak launch last week, so I just wanted to give a really quick update on that. We met down at 12th Street, and they felt that that was a great location, and they even agreed that it was probably even better than Spencer's Landing for a kayak launch. The grant money is supposed to be approved and sent out to us in March of next year now. So they kind of are dragging their feet with getting us the money, but we're going to keep pushing forward on it and try and get some designs and get everything in a row and set up so that as soon as that money is available to us as a city, we can continue and hopefully have a kayak launch next summer. The other thing I wanted to comment on is I abstained from the vote for the asphalt and repaving. I had asked Craig for kind of an update on, where and how that asphalt is going to get used. I would really prefer to understand as a city how we're going to fix our streets and where we're targeting. And I think it would be really useful as a city for the residents to know, and just for the city to be able to plan ahead when and where we're going to pave streets and how often they get repaved. It makes me a little weary to vote on just kind of a lump sum cost like that without really understanding, exactly how much we're going to be paying for the paving and where that's going to get used. So I abstained from that vote just because I didn't feel comfortable voting for it, but I also understand that we do need to repave and fix the streets. So that's kind of my reasoning for that, and I just wanted to explain that a little bit better.
Jim?
This is for as-needed paving, and you can't predict. We're coming into winter, and because when we do the big paving bids, we get a map of everything that's encompassed within those bids and what streets have been selected to need resurfaced. It's a priority list. But Craig, my understanding, right, is this as-needed bid. I mean, that's almost, and I might be wrong on this because I'm just speculating right now, kind of trying to respond.
Sure.
So if you don't need it, you won't spend it, right? It's just like some of the things we have, we budget them each year. And if not, then it gets returned to unencumbered funds because it's not exhausted. But if we don't have it budgeted, then we don't have the ability to respond to these spot Now, I could be way off base. I really am speculating here, but that's my take on what this as-needed paving is about.
Well, let's talk about this. You guys want me to go first? You can hear me?
Yes, please.
That'd be great.
And remember, it's Gay.
You gonna need a glass of water for this?
Yeah, I can go that way.
Gene, it's not Marshall on TV tonight.
I wouldn't be if it was.
But we wouldn't understand.
Go Herd.
As needed asphalt, we did the same thing as we did as needed concrete. There's sections of this town that needs to be paved. Example, 7th Avenue between 41st and 46th, okay? There's sections of it's concrete, we replaced some of it. The other section's asphalt, and that's one of the sections we need to be doing. Also 58th Street, the end of it, just paved Greenmount School. There's a section of road goes into our well house. It needs to be paved, so we'll pave it. There's also other sections in town that needs to be paved. When we talk about paving, the reason I didn't answer your email, I'd rather talk to you in person, was you all tell me where your concerns are. Tom, is that correct? You not call me all the time and say, hey, Craig, look at this, and I go look at it.
Yep, updated daily.
Yes, so I rely on you all to tell me what streets you all like me to look at. Now, it doesn't mean you get them done, okay? Because I do have a priority list, and I can tell when streets are going to fail and when they're not, okay? Kim, you talked about the parking lot up there. I can see alligator cracks getting into it. We need to seal them up. If we don't, I lose the concrete or lose the asphalt. The walking trail, I mean, it's funny, walking trail, everybody's for it, but a parking lot, you ask questions, and it does kind of irritate me. The parking lot does need it, so doesn't the walking trails. But asphalt, if you all need streets or you want streets paved that you drive every day, give me a call. We'll go up and look at it, and I can explain to you why it doesn't need it or why it does need it. As bid, as quantities that we just bid on the asphalt, it's the exact same specifications that the state of West Virginia currently uses now. Okay, now you want to talk about a prime example of that, what it's going to do? Look next week when it starts on 28th Street to 60th Street on Grand Central. That is being done on a quantity base, as needed basis. Okay, that was 2 years ago or last year. Grand Central was never in their sight being paved. Now it's going to get paved this year. Reason, because they bid things on a quantity basis, and that's what we're trying to do. Okay.
Well, no, I understand that, and I'm not trying to say that I know what streets need paved. I don't.
I'm sure you do.
I don't get to drive around all day. I drive to and from work, and
yeah,
I see those same 3 streets. But I guess what all my concern was it sounds like you do have a priority list, and if I could understand that, so I could understand, when people ask when are my streets going to get paved or why hasn't this one gotten done, I can have a better explanation for that. That's
it
really
varies
all I want,
from year to year on that, okay? And I can tell you a street I think that doesn't need paved and it falls apart. Why? We don't know. I mean, it has to all do with hard winters or not hard winter. You do know what streets need to be paved because people are calling you and you're going out looking at with them. Okay, then you call me and say, hey, let's go look at this road. Kim, you do the same thing. I rely on that. I rely on you all to tell me because I don't get out to every street I got 60 miles of streets. I can't travel every one of them.
Yeah, I understand.
So you all call me and say, hey, come and look at this street. And we go out and look at it.
Okay.
And if on this quantity based, what we just accepted, it's a great chance I can call John Brown's up and say, hey, pay 41st Street. I need it done. I said I happen to do 41st Street, all these other things, and put a big bid packet. It's already there. We can do it on an as-needed basis. The road up on 58th Street, when they was paving the parking lot, it's in bad shape. The neighbors called us. Randy called me, and I said, John, what did you pay it for? And he told me the price. I couldn't do it because above what we could do legally. It coming in like at $22,000. We could only go $10,000. If we need it, and we don't look at it, and it is in bad shape. I never really traveled the road, but we could have done it.
if we had this in place, and that's what I'm trying to do.
We missed an opportunity right there because
did.
they already had all their equipment on site. They were doing everything else around it. There's one section that's busted up, and we could have had it done while they were on site, before school started, or right at the first day of school, and they'd have been out of there. And so now that we've accepted this bid, we can do that. And incidentally, you need to put 28th Street at the bottom on your list. You're going to lose the entire bottom 15 foot of that. It's alligatored so bad. First freeze and thaw we get, it's all
On River Road?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's on 28th Street, not River Road.
Yeah.
Right. You'll see it. It's
Piece
big
of concrete in
chunks.
there. Yeah. It's funny because y'all didn't ask me about the price. At $216 a ton, you all know the oils went up, right? Last year we bid it out and they come in about $160 a ton is what they laid it for. So that little bit of increase per tonnage was really pleasant to see. Okay, so it's a legit bid. It is good work.
So while you're up there, did you bring your camera with you today, your phone?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I got it right here.
Yeah, so you need to, when we were talking about the park, Jackson Park Hill, and trying to decide whether we were going to remove the dirt off the hill or have it done, and it was determined by Craig that there was a layer of stone in there. Well, they've uncovered the layer of stone now. Show them the pictures.
Yeah.
This is incredible.
Let's see this. That's what kind of stone they're digging out the top right now. It looks like a little pebble beach, but see that excavator right there?
Yeah, pick one up.
So, yeah.
Are they using that for fill?
No, not. Actually, it
Oh,
took
they're
out
massive,
maybe
Jim.
one of those rocks right there for a truck bed. But man, boy, it sure looked good down that river down there, Spencer's Lane, if we ever get a chance to haul it down. So, for that riverbank, it's beautiful stone. It's huge. These boulders are 7 to 8 feet apart. I mean, it's a diameter of them. So,
What would one weigh?
I don't know. I couldn't pick it up.
You could-
I looked at it in terms of that, so no, they're big rocks.
So
And
is
what they're
that-
doing is digging these out. We're laying these off to the side and kind
The
of,
7, 8 foot rock like that?
hopefully somebody could use them for landscaping or some kind of base fill. But we got to lay them off the side because they're actually too big to load up in the back of the truck right now.
So is that what we need? Do we need to put it out there and let landscape companies know, hey, this is up here and they can come get it or pay us for it or whatever?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's
Because if that's the people who would be in the market for it,
yeah. it'd be
that would be
rock for
great.
that,
Because
of course.
we can't go any further down, right? We can't go any further down, right? I mean,
Oh
once.
yeah, no, we're popping that layer off to get to the dirt underneath of it.
Oh, okay.
So there's a layer about 3 foot seam of clay underneath that we're trying to get to.
Okay.
If y'all know Spencer's Landing, you see we're hauling a bunch of rock in shell that we're putting in for the base. Then we'll come back, put the clay and stuff on top of it, seal it up. So looking real good down there.
Probably have use for some.
But yeah,
Hey, maybe we can
yeah. And even down
haul
at the
down
kayak
12th Street
launch.
for the kayak launch, make put it in riverbank for river barricades or whatever.
Yeah,
So,
it's good to know we have
good
that
stuff.
available.
You would need a gigantic excavator to
Yeah.
haul that stuff, man. I mean, it's incredible how big those rocks are.
Beautiful view. If you get a chance, you want to run up there, get a hold of me, and we'll take you out.
Yeah,
Ends on the field.
I do just want to comment on that really quick. I think the fill going on over at Spencer's Landing is looking really great.
Yeah.
And seeing that kind of fill out and even out that property and stuff,
Yeah.
it just makes it feel a lot bigger down there. So
Yeah,
it's awesome to see the
makes a huge
progress.
difference. So, and that's just one base. That's just the base layer right now. We'll come back in, start smoothing up in the dirt here and there. So we're about up to 400 truckloads now. So with today's loads.
Thank you, Craig.
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
I do. I have a council comment. And I don't ask questions to irritate anybody.
Yeah,
I know, but I appreciate your answer.
Yeah.
Okay, because I didn't know that. So, but to that part about irritating people with questions, our greatest responsibility at council is actually oversight. We approve the budget, we approve expenditures, and so on. I mean, that's I'll make no apology for the fact that I'm a fiscal conservative. You know, I keep an eye on the money. That's just who I am. That got me in some trouble last week, apparently, and last meeting was not a very pleasant meeting, as I said in my council comments last week, because there were a lot of personal attacks, etc. But I thought about it when I got home, and how to move forward. So I reached out to the city attorney and I asked him if he could prepare a resolution that would require council to require any budget revision request that council's to receive, to have it written in a written form presented to council so that we can actually read it. I think that would help eliminate questions, okay? And so City Attorney Ross, he wrote it up, everything was good. I got it to the recorder on time. I try to be respectful of the recorder's time. She needs to get the agenda out Monday. I submitted the resolution Friday afternoon, and she, wrote me back, hey, no problem, you got it. And I was very appreciative of that. When the agenda came out on Monday, my resolution wasn't on it. And so I was obviously very frustrated, and the city recorder, Mrs. Elam, she wrote me and she said that the mayor wanted to take it before the Budget and Finance Committee first. I don't quite understand that, because there aren't formal rules or ordinance or statutes specifying how items are to be placed on the agenda. The council has always operated, to my knowledge, under this assumption that we council members can have something placed on the agenda, whether it's a resolution, an agenda item, or whatever. They just get with the recorder, it gets placed on the agenda. The mayor has the authority to, organize the agenda so it has good flow, okay? Makes total sense. So why my resolution was removed and not put on the agenda tonight is very concerning to me, because I feel like that is gatekeeping. And I do not understand why it would need to go to Budget and Finance, the Budget and Finance Committee, because they're just a recommending body. We are the body that's going to make the decision. So I do not, it can go to Budget and Finance, I guess, but really when it gets right down to it, it's this body that's going to make the decision whether to vote it up, vote it down, amend it, table it, whatever. But it just needs to come before council, and I don't need to be gatekept. I have my rights and responsibilities here as a member of this council, and the people of Vienna and what they expect us to do. So I'd like to see that on the next agenda, please.
So I'm going to respond to that. Kim, are you done?
Yes.
Good, because I'm going to make this short. We operate this city council on an abbreviated form of Robert's Rules of Order. And Robert's Rules of Order is very clear that the presiding officer sets the agenda. And I am sure that when Mr. Azinger was in the legislature, that the president of the Senate sets the agenda, as well as the Speaker of the House sets the agenda for the entire body. Now, right. I don't know what other organization, when they have chairman of committees, they also set the agenda for the committee meetings. And so I said that we are going to refer this to Budget and Finance, and I spoke with Mr. Leach as chairman of the Budget and Finance Committee, that before we bring this back to council, we're going to put it on the agenda, and we're going to talk about what the language should be as far as budget revisions, and what information is asked for, and what information we will put in this thing. Now, you are welcome to come to Budget and Finance and make whatever concerns you have to Budget and Finance, and then we will try to work the language out so that it can come back. Now, no one is stopping you from putting this on the agenda, but as you said, the timing is what the issue is. I'm not willing to bring another thing forward until we've got an explanation of what it is that you're looking for, or what the other members of this council are looking for information-wise, as far as budget revisions or anything else. We're going to have a plan, and Mr. Leach, as chairman of the Budget and Finance Committee, we will discuss this and figure out what to do with that, and then we will bring it to council for approval, for amendment, for whatever. But I'll take the blame, I'll take the credit, whatever you want to call it. But I set the agenda. I don't ever deny anyone the option of having whatever it is you want put on there, but I do reserve the right to do it in the proper format. Okay? So that's my statement to you. And, all right? Okay?
That's extraordinary, something we've never done before, so, okay.
All right. Any other comments this evening?
Unfortunately, I have to respond to, Kim saying that she's been personally attacked. You weren't personally attacked. My issue that I took with you is the way that you were conducting yourself with department heads and demanding information a few hours before council. So if you take that personally, sorry for that. It had nothing to do with you personally, but your conduct as a council person.
Once again, I provided those emails to council that proved your assumption to be wrong. So.
All right. Anything else this evening? All right. Go Mountain.